We're now at Multiple Exposures Gallery on the third floor of the Torpedo Factory. Before it was named Multiple Exposures, it was named Factory Photo Works. And 20 years ago, I was part of a group of 7 people that formed the first cooperative photo gallery here at the Torpedo Factory. Now, 20 years later, one of its members, Peggy Fleming, is doing a history of the group and came up with the idea of inviting the original founding members and all of the members from then to now into a group show with the current members. And I submitted one of the photographs of Huntley Meadows Park and also a mosaic that was taken from that photograph. So what you see here is another scene of the trees, my trees at Huntley Meadows, this time at winter with snow, and a mosaic scene that is just taken after that photograph. One of the things about this particular set of trees that got my attention when I first saw it is the grapevine that very gracefully drapes itself around the trees. I thought for sure it was poison ivy, but the people at the park who know about these things say that they're old ivy vines, that they're old grapevines rather than ivy. And another interesting thing about the scene is that I photographed it in many seasons, in spring and fog and snow, and many, many times in the winter. Never got a picture that I liked in the summertime because the foliage is so dense that there's not really something that gets my attention. And the folks at the park told me that if it weren't for the heavy deer population, that I really would never see a scene worth taking. But the deer keep the low foliage so well trimmed that it makes the scene visible at my level. So I have walked through that park month after month after month, and it's become my private sanctuary. And the series is called Sanctuary, just a series of photos taken at Huntley Meadows Park, which is a little miracle that it exists in a very built-up part of Fairfax County, that this little piece of land has been set aside as a wildlife and waterland sanctuary.
Now, Nina, the Buddha that we saw was your second piece. This one is?
Maybe the 4th or 5th. So I'm moving right along.
Mm-hmm. And is this one as intricate as the Buddha?
This one is almost as intricate, but not quite as intricate. The Buddha is larger and has more colors in it, but it uses the same style of cutting the tiles into shaped pieces rather than just using squares, which is a more traditional use of mosaic tile. This one I also used little pieces of mira. Got the idea because I was having some work done at my home and the contractor dropped a mirror, so I wound up with some little mirror pieces, and I thought that would be a good way to make it look icy and cold.
That sounds very artistic to me, to be able to improvise like that with something.
It's kind of like if something comes your way, you find a way to use it.
Yes, exactly, right.
And if you don't have what you need, you use what you have.
Yes. Well, how do you feel about the mosaic print? I don't know whether to call it a print.
The mosaic
piece of the trees versus your photographs.
Good question. I like the mosaics. It's still something that I'm evolving, so that they're a lot harder to do than the photographs. And to me, they have the potential for a lot more depth and interest than the photographs do. The other thing about mosaic art is that the more automated photography has become, the more the average amateur has equipment available to take pictures that are satisfactory. The less interested I am in doing it myself, I want to do something that's more of a challenge. And right now the mosaic art is where the challenge is for me, so that's where I've been spending my energy.
Well, I noticed in your other photograph, the one at the other art show, when you're looking at it there in the gallery up close, you can see so much detail. I mean, I don't know if that's really what you want to do, say, in your mosaics or not, getting all that detail in.
I don't know that it's possible to get that amount of detail with tree limbs. And so the mosaics, that's a really good comment as you're looking at it. The mosaics tend to be much more impressionistic
Yes,
rather
right.
than detailed.
Exactly.
All of the photographs in the exhibit were done with a medium format camera, so they're 2¼ square negatives and black and white, and so they inherently have a lot of detail. And with good printing, the detail translates into the paper. And that's what people tell me they like about the photographs, that they feel that they can walk into the woods.
Yes, you can see the ferns in front of the trees. It's really marvelous. Right.
So
You can
here-
almost feel the bark.
And that's a good thing. That's what I want the photographs to do. I don't know whether it's possible to do that in mosaic art. I know that at least at this point in my career, I don't know how to do it.
Yes.
And so what I'm doing with it is using the photographs as a departure point and saying, this is my inspiration, where can I take it in a different medium? And what's turned out is an impression. So I don't worry about matching colors exactly. I use lots of different colors, and here the only thing that's pretty much the same is the sky. But even in the sky, I've got some little variations going on.
In the photographs, I don't think of the trees as being dancers. I just think of the vines. But in the mosaic, I tend to see the trees maybe as being dancers as well.
I'm glad to hear you say that. I saw the vines as dancers when I first saw the scene at the park. It seemed to me that there was modern dance that was just emerging out of the woods. And actually, the woman who directs Huntley Meadows does creative modern dancing. And I asked her if she would do a dance at the opening of the show, and she did. And it was amazing. She did it on the theme of trees growing. It was so beautiful.
Did you intend to have the trees be dancers, or am I just reading something into that?
I did not intend for the trees to be dancers, but they do seem to move. To me, they look almost animal. And one child who came by the studio thought that they were snake-like, and I see them as giraffe-like.
Yes. Well, I don't see them as being as solid looking as the photographs, because they are the little mosaic pieces, and maybe that's why I think of them as being more fragile and
Or
having more movement, yes,
yeah.
than in the photograph.
With mosaic, you need to decide what color you're going to do the grout. And I decided on white for this because I wanted to keep the cold winter feel. And you do almost have to choose one color for the whole thing. I understand you can choose different colors of grout for different sections, and you can also paint the grout. So that theoretically I could have made the grout there brown, but I didn't. So it does have a very light-filled feeling.
Right. So it seems like there would be endless variations about how you could do this same scene in many different ways.
And if I did it this week, it would be different from here.
Yes.
I couldn't do the same piece the same way twice.
Right. What's your latest project?
Well, interestingly for me, I'm working on a Madonna and Child, which is also very difficult. It's small, very, very tiny pieces. And again, it doesn't look exactly the way I thought it would when I started, and I'm letting it be what it wants to be. But it's interesting for me in that it's not my faith tradition, but in photographing weddings, I have seen so many beautiful churches, and I love the Gothic churches, and in the Greek Orthodox churches there are mosaics that have saints on different icons, and it's just kind of fun to try my hand at doing that.
Well, this is landscape, and then the Buddha was a person, and now you're doing a Madonna and Child. So do you have a preference?
The landscapes in a way are easier, but it's a real challenge for me to do the faces and the body with the limited palette that I have in the tiles. So I like them both, and I like to switch off to things that are more of a challenge to things that are easier. So I'll probably do something just decorative, like maybe a plant fragment for my next piece, something where it will get done and it will be lovely and I won't have to work so hard, but then I'll come back and want to work hard again.
Yeah. Well, what about with your photography? I mean, you did the tree, the sanctuary photographs, but you do a lot of weddings and portraits, so which do you actually prefer?
I got my start as a photojournalist, and so what I've loved is photographing people and action, things happening. I've loved capturing the moment. And that's what our business tries to bring to wedding photography and also portrait photography. We're a lot more fluid and flexible than some of the traditional photographers. And I like both. I love photographing people and I love photographing events. It's so exciting to know there's an electrical shock that comes when you know you've got something on film. And this is different. It's an evolving art. There's no, maybe it's more like studio art where you set something up and you know that you've got it perfectly in your viewfinder before you hit the shutter. But this, I liken to sculpting in clay rather than in stone.
I was thinking it is sort of still, but yet there's movement with the vines. You know, those are the dancers. So it's kind of a combination of movement with something.
People have told me that they find this very peaceful, that they equate it with the Buddha mosaic as being both very peaceful, introspective pieces. And I think that's another thing that I look for in my life, is to create order and something that's peaceful in a world that sometimes is not peaceful.
You radiate peacefulness, I think.
It's what I...
Or calmness or
what I
something
strive
like
for.
that. Yes. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for doing this.